Hello students, happy Friday, happy first week of fall semester. As promised, I'm going to do probably a 15-minute video just kind of covering our course, giving you a quick overview. I have tons of notes because of course you've probably seen if you looked at the course there's a lot going on. So this video is going to be for internship only, and there'll be another video for the research course. So the first thing, obviously, hopefully you've looked in our course. There's a lot of information there. I've tried to share samples when I can, just so that you know a little bit more detail about what's going on. And then just know I'm going to keep updating you throughout the course. So as you have questions or concerns, and as assignment deadlines are approaching, I'll be in touch. So you're going to know exactly what it is that you need to be doing. I know it's overwhelming. The beginning of a semester is always overwhelming. This is your final year. You're starting practicum and internship. Many of you have jobs. You've got family commitments. It's going to be a busy year. So if there's a theme, it's going to be a very busy year. And just know that Fred, Sandra, and I, when it comes to practicum and internship and even the research course, we're going to be right there with you all the way, helping you through this. So try not to, get too overwhelmed. You're seeing all the big picture stuff right now, but it's all going to be broken up into little pieces. So don't be thinking too much about the end just yet. You will get there. We promise you'll get there. And then even though this course is only one semester, practicum and internship and your research and your map, it's all going to be a full year that you're working on these projects. So, okay, first thing is the schedule. Of course, in the practicum syllabus, there's a copy of the schedule so you know when things are due. But I did this for myself, but I also did it for you. I made a combination schedule that shows your practicum and your research assignment deadlines on one schedule. So I've posted it in both courses under syllabus. And then I like to, I have it on the electronic, but I also, for myself, I like to have a printed copy each semester so that I could just quick grab it. It sits on my desk and I know exactly what's going on. I'm also someone, I like to check things off or scratch them out. It makes me feel good to know that I've reached a deadline and I kind of submitted what I needed. In my case with you all, it's that I'm grading these things and I'm, keeping you posted, that kind of thing. So I encourage you maybe to print a copy, maybe print it in color if you can, and this will help to keep you on track with everything. The most important thing this year is going to be meeting all the deadlines. And I apologize, there's a lot of deadlines. There's tons of paperwork we have to keep track of for practicum and internship. And then of course the research class, which I'll talk about next, there's going to be a lot of deadlines for that too. So one of my notes, and this is something that you've known me for a year now, I haven't been too particular about this, but on-time submissions is going to be critical. Fred and Sandra and I, we've just learned with working with students, practicum and internship and research, if you're not getting things in when the deadlines come, you're going to get even more overwhelmed because then you're just going to have too much going on. So we really want you to stick with those deadlines. They're there for a reason. I tried to think it through as I designed the schedule for you. So there's going to be 10% of your grade is going to be based on whether or not you get things submitted on time. And 10% is quite a bit. I mean, that's the difference between an A and a B. So really know that I'm not going to chase you down when something's due and you've not turned it in. I'm not going to email you. I'm not going to reach out to you. You've got to take charge of yourself and you've got to know what these deadlines are. Get them on your phone. Do whatever you have to do to remember. I'm just quietly not going to be grading you. And then even when you submit something, yes, it's going to get graded, but in the end, it's going to hurt your grade in terms of getting things in on time. So I'm going to check that one off. So discussion forum, that's not going to be too hard this semester. There's no discussion in the research class, the internship class. There is weekly discussion. We have to have that. It's considered your it's considered your group supervision. So if we had a live class every week, you and all your cohort would be coming in to meet in a classroom for about an hour and a half a week to talk about practicum and internship. And so that's what we're going to be doing online, just like you're used to at this point. But the questions are going to be, not too demanding. It's more going to be you telling us about your experience, what's happening. It's kind of a chance for us to help each other. You're going to be helping each other a lot, like sharing your successes and your concerns and brainstorming together. There's going to be a lot of that. But something that's different this year than last year is, remember in our residency, I mentioned that there's going to be 2 textbooks during practicum and internship. One says it's for elementary and middle, one says secondary. These are really good books, really good resources, and even if you think like I'm going to work in high school, I want you purchasing both books. Or even if you want to be elementary, purchase both books. They're really good, and anything can be modified. So both of these books have tons of forms and guidelines, and they're really there to help you. This one, the Elementary and Middle School Survival Guide, when I started as a school counselor, this was like the only thing left in the office for me. Like, I had nothing in my office, and I used it a lot. And this is a newer version. And then the other book for secondary has some great stuff. Last year, students loved it. It's just that they read it over the summer before practicum and internship rather than during practicum and internship. So the reason I'm talking about that during while I'm saying something about discussion forum is I don't want to assign weekly readings necessarily, because it is a lot with everything else you have going on. But maybe early on, especially like these first couple weeks, I might assign little parts of these books as part of the discussion question. That way it just gets you using it, gets you looking at it, and gets you seeing like, wow, this is a good book. Dr. Matthews might not be making us read the whole thing. I could do that, but I just think it would be too much. But at the same time, if I don't assign something, I'm afraid you won't really look at it and see how good of a book it is. Maybe take it with you to practicum and internship, and when you have some downtime, because I'm sure there's downtime, this could be something you're looking at and flipping through. I bet you your site supervisor would even be excited to see some of the things that are in this book. So take it with you to practicum and internship, flip through it while you're sitting there sometimes, some downtime, and see how well you can use these books. Okay, let me get on. So lots of forms that you need to do for practicum and internship. So coming up due is practicum and internship approval form. Yes, it's repetitive. You've already submitted this, over the summer in anticipation of your practicum and internship placement, but we have to have it in the Moodle course for archival purposes. So everything that you submitted to me, I can't upload for you on your behalf in the Moodle course. I wish I could. It would be so much easier. But I need you now to go ahead and upload those things. So you'll see in the course, practicum internship approval form. If you did summer, there's a place for that. And then there's a place for fall. And those of you starting in fall, there's a place for fall. If you can't separate out the last 3 pages for some reason on your upload, just do the whole internship application. I don't care, as long as we have the last 3 pages. They're signed by everybody, which I know they are because you've submitted them to me. So I know they're signed. It's just a matter of doing that. That's a simple, just get it in and check it off your list of things to do. Time logs, those are going to be a little bit bigger. We've changed the time log from last year, and you'll be thrilled. I mean, it's an Excel spreadsheet. You need to open it, download it to your computer, because you need your own saved copy. And then each week, every day of the week, whether you're there or not, if you're not there, leave it blank. Or you want to put zeros, you can, whatever. But the days that you're there, You're going to figure out how many hours you were there. You do have to decide between direct and indirect. Indirect is really just when you're not necessarily working directly with the students. So a lot of your meetings and talks with your site supervisor, any of like program planning, anything that you're doing like in preparation for working with students is all going to be your indirect. And then direct is going to be the time when you're really working with students, whether it's small group, in classrooms, individually, anything that you do that also on behalf of students kind of counts as direct. So sometimes that's a little bit harder to figure out. But, you know, like if you're working with parents, but it's on behalf of the students, you could technically count that as direct hours. So it's important to have your hours in the right columns. But the nice thing with this new Excel spreadsheet, it's going to do the math for you. In the past, students had to do their own math, and it's easy to mess up, especially when you're talking quarter hours and 3/4 of an hour and all that. So all you have to do is plug in like the number of hours, and it's going to show you for the week. And all the way at the bottom of the form, it's going to keep track of your direct, your indirect, and your total hours. I promise you that's going to be very valuable. 4 times a semester you turn this in. Early on we have you turning it in just to make sure you're doing it correctly. You don't have to get them signed until the end, okay? So we're trying to take that pressure off of you and your site supervisor. But when you're either finished at a site, like say you're moving on to another site, whatever your last time log is, either for a semester or at a site, then it has to be signed. Last thing is, the form probably isn't going to do the rounding for you. So you round it yourself when you're doing it. So if think about quarter hours, okay? So you're either there for 1 hour, 1.25 is an hour and 15 minutes, 1.5, an hour and a half, and 1.75 is how you would say that you were there for an hour and 45 minutes. So try to do it by the quarter hour. Sometimes you're going to have to just estimate yourself. If it's 5 minutes into the hour, well, sadly, go with the 1 hour. But if it's 10 minutes into the hour, bump yourself to an hour and 15 minutes, okay? Let me move on because time's running out. Audio recordings. I know this is big. I'll talk to you more about this. There'll be another video coming, but you're going to choose a student. You'll probably work with your site supervisor. They'll help you. They know these kids. They've been working with these kids sometimes for years, and their parents. So they may be able to even help you to know which parents are more likely to say yes, because you do have to get consent from the parent to do the audio recording. But again, I'll do another video on audio recordings very soon, so don't panic. But I want to go over the audio recording review form and just some tips and things as you plan to work with your student. Practicum and internship activities, there's a form where that's where you're going to kind of tell us, your time log's just your hours. So the practicum internship activities log is kind of where you're telling us more details of a lot of meetings and things that we're encouraging you to attend, talk to the school nurse and the social worker, attend meetings. These are things you're going to learn from. They're going to count as indirect hours, so it all counts towards your hours, but then you're going to write up a little summary of those things. I've also added individual counseling, small group, and classroom guidance, so in hopes that when you're doing those things, you don't have to log every single individual, but maybe just pick a couple, give me dates, tell me a little summary of what happened. You don't have to log all of them, though. It just shows proof, though, like again, for the state that you're actually doing those activities. You'll do lots of evaluations, midterm and at the end from your site supervisor. Those forms are on the site. We do have wonderful field supervisors, Fred Adams and Sandra Adams. Fred sent you an email today. They're going to work with you as well as me throughout the semester. And then you do a self-evaluation paper at the end. So that's kind of a summary of all your assignments. My time's running out, so I'm going to close up. But remember, you have me, Fred, and Sandra. We're going to be your team at Salem throughout this whole year, helping you with practical mentorship and your research project. You'll hear more from me soon. Bye.